Did you know that not all foods should be refrigerated? Quite surprising, isn't it? It's not all about keeping things chilly when it comes to food storage. In fact, some items can lose their flavor, texture, or even nutritional value when kept in the cold confines of your fridge. It's a common misconception that the refrigerator is a safe haven for all foods, but in reality, it's not. So, let's dive in and explore some foods that you should never put in the fridge. First on our list, tomatoes. These ruby red delights are best kept on the counter, not in the fridge. You see, the cold temperature of the refrigerator alters the texture of tomatoes, turning them into a mushy mess. Plus, refrigeration halts the ripening process, which is crucial for developing their full, robust flavor. So, if you've been wondering why your tomatoes taste a little bland, it's probably because they've been chilling in the fridge. So, keep your tomatoes out on your counter, not in the fridge. Next up, potatoes. You might be thinking, surely these hardy tubers are fridge-friendly, but that's where you'd be mistaken. Chilly temperatures actually instigate a process in potatoes that converts their starch into sugar. This not only changes their flavor, making them taste oddly sweet, but it also disrupts their texture, turning them gritty and unpleasant to the bite. So to keep your spuds at their best, store them in a cool, dry place. But remember, not in the fridge. Moving on to onions? These pungent bulbs are a staple in many dishes, but storing them in the refrigerator isn't the best idea. The cool, humid conditions inside the fridge can cause onions to become soft and moldy. The moisture encourages the growth of fungi and bacteria, which gives the onions a mushy texture and a less than appetizing smell. So, what's the solution? Store your onions in a dry, well-ventilated area, away from direct sunlight and, of course, the fridge. So, keep your onions in a well-ventilated area, away from the fridge. Next, we have garlic. This flavor-packed bulb might seem like a good candidate for the fridge, but think again. Storing garlic in the refrigerator can actually cause it to sprout, and nobody wants sprouted garlic in their pasta sauce. Not only that, but refrigeration can also lead to mold growth on your beloved garlic. So where should you store it? A cool, dry place is the perfect spot. So store your garlic in a cool, dry place, but not in the fridge. Let's talk about avocados. These green delights are a favorite for many, but did you know stashing them in the fridge can actually impede their ripening process? Yes, it's true. When avocados are refrigerated, the cold environment hinders the enzymes that aid in ripening. This can result in an avocado that's hard and tasteless, instead of soft and buttery. So remember, for that perfect guacamole or avocado toast, keep those avocados out. So, if you want your avocados to ripen properly, keep them out of the fridge. Now let's discuss honey. This sweet, sticky delight is a staple in many kitchens. But did you know that refrigeration can cause honey to crystallize? Yes, indeed. When honey is exposed to cold temperatures, it starts to solidify, making it almost impossible to pour or spread. This process doesn't harm the honey's flavor or nutritional value, but it sure does make it hard to use. So, when it comes to storing honey, remember this simple rule. So, keep your honey in your pantry, not in your fridge. Next on our list is coffee. Ah, coffee, the aromatic elixir that greets us each morning. But beware, storing your precious beans in the fridge can lead to a disappointing brew. The cold environment can cause coffee to lose its robust flavor. Moreover, coffee is like a sponge. It can absorb odors from other foods in your fridge, tainting its original taste. To keep your coffee fresh and flavorful, it's best to store it in a cool, dry place, away from strong odors. So, store your coffee in a cool, dry place, but not in the fridge. Up next, bread. Now, it may seem counterintuitive, but refrigerating your bread can actually make it go stale faster. You see, the cool temperature of the fridge encourages the retrogradation of the starch in the bread. This process turns the water in the bread into ice crystals, drying it out and speeding up the staling process. So, in essence, your fridge is a stale-making machine for bread. So, unless you're planning to keep it for a long time, keep your bread out of the fridge. Last but not least, olive oil. This kitchen staple is a victim of the cold. When subjected to low temperatures, olive oil takes on a cloudy appearance and can harden up, losing its smooth, liquid consistency. This is due to the fats solidifying in the cold. While this doesn't ruin the oil, it can affect the texture and how it blends with other ingredients. Remember, olive oil prefers to be stored in a cool, dark place, not in a chilly fridge. So, keep your olive oil in your pantry, not in your fridge. Now that we've discussed the 10 foods you shouldn't refrigerate, let's do a quick recap. First off, we have tomatoes. Their flavor and texture are compromised when chilled, leading to a mealy, tasteless tomato. Potatoes, too, don't fare well in the fridge. The cold transforms their starch into sugar, altering their taste and texture. Next up are onions. They need a well-ventilated, dry environment, not the damp conditions of a refrigerator. Garlic is in the same boat, the humidity causing it to sprout or mold. Avocados should ripen at room temperature, while honey will crystallize and thicken in the fridge. Then we have coffee, which absorbs odors from the fridge, altering its flavor. Bread, on the other hand, dries out and becomes stale faster when refrigerated. Lastly, olive oil thickens and becomes cloudy in the cold, spoiling its texture. So the next time you're about to put these foods in the fridge, remember what you've learned today. Keep them out and they'll stay fresh and tasty longer.